Let's see. Right. Making sure this is working. Looks like it is. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Okay. I haven't done a Zoom live in a while, but my phone's dying. I wanted to go live on my back porch with my phone, but my phone's at 3%. So here we are. I wanted to do this over the last few days. And what did I title this? I don't even remember what I titled this. Basically, a lot of the guidance that I've been receiving is around why we are repelling what we desire to call in and how we're creating more resistance in the form of competition and comparison as women, especially in terms of sister wounding. And so one of the pieces, I'm going to give you something practical at the end that can help support you. And what I really wanted to share and ground into is this piece around when we see something in somebody else, it must live inside us too. And so that can be in the form of when we feel like we're in victim, or when we feel like somebody's doing something to us, or when we feel like something's out of alignment, right? So something that we want to quote negative about somebody else's values, ideologies, actions, how they show up in the world, a form of that must live inside us too. And so there's a lot of freedom and liberation that comes from that acceptance of, if I see it in somebody else, whether it's shadow, light, anything in between, it must live inside me too. And that's also the same for when we are inspired by somebody else, when we see somebody else living their desires and having thriving relationships and calling in the abundance in the form of travels, in the form of home, in the form of sacred space, in the form of whatever that looks like for us, that must live inside us too. And a lot of the guidance that I received is like, the masculine way of comparison makes us think that we want what somebody else has, but we really just want the feeling. We really just want the feeling of safety, or the feeling of fulfillment, or the feeling of freedom or bliss, or whatever that looks like for us. And what I really wanted to presence is, when we see another woman thriving, when we see another woman in success, when we see another woman living her passions, feeling joy, living her dream life, instead of the resonance of contraction of, I want that, I don't have that, what I really want us to start to presence is, holy shit, if I see it in her, it must live inside me too. It must be coming for me too, because you would not be able to see it if it wasn't meant for you as well. So it's actually showing you, this is actually a blessing from the universe, that this is showing you that this is a vibrational match for what you're calling in and how it looks for you, appropriating it for your life, because you don't want the same tangible thing that you want this other woman that she has. What you want is the vibration. What you want is the way of being. What you want is the feeling. All of us as humans, whether it's on a conscious or subconscious level, we want to feel love. We want to feel emotionally fulfilled. We want to feel alive. We want to feel in good health. We want to wake up with energy. We want to be in relationship with others. And so instead, right, this is a reprogramming that gets to happen, because I still feel contraction at times. I still find myself in comparison at times. I still feel this, oh shit, like she's got what I want. Ugh, like that initial feeling, right? That's the programming that kicks in. And what I do now is I love those parts of myself. I love the parts of myself that are in comparison and competition. I don't make myself wrong for those parts of myself anymore. I breathe into those parts of myself. I love on those parts of myself. And I immediately start to celebrate the other woman. I immediately start to thank her. Because what this woman is doing for me is she is showing me that I am a vibrational match for that. And the way that the universe works is in the quantum, right? So we have a desire, we launch that desire, we express it, we ask for it, and it's already happened in the quantum. So if this feels a little bit woo-woo, that's okay. We'll get into energy in more conversations, but just trusting that it's already done. There's a delay in the 3D. And so what happens in the delay in the 3D is that we contract, we resist, we get fearful, we get in comparison, we get in envy, we get in jealousy. And guess what? These lower energies, frequencies, emotional states then resist the desire, right? So there's a delay in the 3D because we're staying in the frequency of comparison. We're staying in the frequency of jealousy. We're staying in the frequency of envy. We're staying in the frequency of unhealthy competition. And we're actually creating more resistance from receiving the very thing. And so this takes time, right? I don't beat myself up anymore when I have that triggered response. It's just showing me that there's an opportunity where they're still not fully integrated and fully healed within me. The comparison and the wanting to be like other people and the wanting to fit in, right? And the wanting to things to look a certain way and the need and the wanting it now. And so instead, I love myself. I thank myself for protecting me, for showing me there's places where I'm still not free within. And then I go in celebration mode. And I want to share. Let's see if there's any comments coming in. It doesn't look like there's any comments yet. What I want to share about this is I had a sister where in the middle of grieving, I called in a client, $12,000 contract, like boom, first week of the month, wasn't even in a state of working my business, just showing up in inspiration, showing up in authenticity, honoring myself, nurturing myself. And one of my sisters was like, thank you for showing me what's possible for me. Thank you for showing me what I get to look forward to. She was giving me a tangible example of the guidance that I received around how this actually works. And guess what? She calls in a private client, like, I don't even know how many days later, a week later, within the week, boom. And then guess what it did for me? It was like, oh, now I get to continue to celebrate. I get to continue to thank her and continue the cyclical nature of the expansion of the expansion of the expansion. And now she is showing me what's possible. I was her teacher. She was my student. Then she became my teacher and I became the student. And then she showed me what's possible. She gave me a tangible example of when we celebrate another sister, when we're in the energy of possibility, when we're in gratitude, when we're in the state of wow, she is showing me that I am also a vibrational match and I also get to create that for myself. What's next? And now we're in this beautiful space of just celebration and honoring our uniqueness, and our businesses are very similar. And we're both in a very new state of emergence, of self-identity, of how we show up for ourselves and show up for the world. And I'm noticing this is evidence of the guidance that I received around how this truly works and how simple it can be to move in miracles, how simple it can be to have it be the easy way when we're just tuned into alignment. And I have some notes here where I just want to share, like, I have this group because I feel really safe in this group. And I have been shown that I will eventually work with men, masses of men as well, not just masses of women. And I feel safe here. And so I want to show you that I'm also noticing my growth edges. I'm showing up where I feel safe. I recognize that there's opportunities where I'm still hiding, right? Like just that vulnerable sharing around, if there's comparison, just know, like, I experience those growth edges too. I experience those moments of, well, I'm just going to hang out here because this is where I feel safe, and I don't necessarily feel safe self-expressing to men in the degree that I do in this group with women, and knowing that it's a safe container of aligned, high conscious, heart-centered beings that identify as women. And so I'm going to start sharing more authentically messages from source that are being downloaded, and this one around the sister wounding and the competition and the comparison, and how quickly it can be to just like gently love that part of ourselves, which is the unhealed masculine, and then to practice the state of abundance, practice the state of celebration, practice on the map of consciousness, right? Like practice what it means to vibrationally meet that woman. Because guess what? When a woman is at a level that you desire to be at, she's showing you that match, you become a vibrational match, you start to vibrate at that frequency. And then something comes into your field that is unique for you. So it's going to look different, but it's all about the vibration. It's about the frequency. It's about the emotional state. So instead of being like, oh, I want that, let that pull you, let that allow you to up level on a vibrational level, to take that vortex holding pattern, you know, in the quantum world, to then be, to allow us to attract, to receive, that's the feminine, to call in our desires in the 3D. So that's all that it is we have a desire, it's already done. And how quickly that desire made manifest, taking the formless into form, comes into our field is up to us, right? And so this isn't about like, I'm meeting this frequency because I want to get something. No, this is about surrendering without expectation. This is about really celebrating and knowing what's possible for you, and knowing the impact that you're going to have, and how then you're going to be show others what's possible for them, and create the ripple of abundance, and create the ripple of freedom and liberation and joy and fun and play that happens when we call in the abundance, right? Just being able to book a trip, being able to have a cabin in the mountains where 20 of your family members, and you pay for all of them because you just want to be connected with family, knowing that your work is expanding globally and you get to serve on this big level, right? So it's really not about getting something. It's about, holy cow, this woman showed me what's possible for me. Then I get to call that in for myself so that I can then show somebody else what's possible, and watch the ripple of the expansion and release the separation, right? Letting go of the separation piece. So I really just wanted to share authentically, you know, that I still have moments of competition and feeling inferior and feeling like I want what somebody else has. I want to look a certain way, or I want to do this a certain way. But what happens is when we embody these practices and we really just start to tune into what feels good and authentic to me, I'm able to change my state much faster. It's more of like the conversation in my head of, okay, got it. Like that's still there. And I'm okay with that. And I still get to love that part of myself. But this is actually the frequency and the place that I want to dance in. I want to be in this frequency. I want to be in this emotional state. And that's how miracles are happening in my life. And noticing my husband, like, right, all the things that I used to want my husband to adopt in the form of these practices, and how he is coming to me and playing in this miracle space and sharing blessings that are happening in his life, and waking me up in the morning, because he usually wakes up earlier than me, and being like, Lindsay, oh my gosh, guess what happened? Guess what miracle happened today? Guess what happened? Da, 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 da. This happened. And celebrating the small things and noticing the ripple of how that expands in our relationships and in our field. So one piece that I wanted to support you in is we don't know what we actually desire if we're in the state of comparison and envy and jealousy, and we're not connected to self. And what I did yesterday, I got these downloads, and I was actually gonna go live yesterday, and then I had a baby shower and it felt rushed. So I wanted to come on here today and share is, there's a song that I'll just play a little bit of it for you. I played it while I was in the shower yesterday. So this is a practice, because first I want you to tune into, how do I want to feel? Like, what does it feel like in my body? What are the sensations that I feel when I feel present and I feel connected to self? Because then you're going to start to notice, ooh, that's that same feeling again, right? You actually can create that in a sacred moment for yourself. So you can start to feel the sensations of expanded vibrations, of expanded emotional states, so that when you do feel that comparison, or when you see another woman have something, right? Like, you can want the frequency, you can want the feeling, you can want the desire, but then you can attune to, wait, what is it that I really want? I want to feel this way, but what does that look like for me? What does that look like for my family? And what it takes is, it's the art of slowing down, right? Because we are programmed to move fast, and we want it, and we want it now. And the masculine is electric and goes out and gets it. And the feminine is so grounded in the truth of who she is, that she is just a magnet for blessings and miracles and for all that she's calling in. And so what I did was, because for me, I noticed my pattern is, one of my patterns is, when I feel good, I want to go to the next thing. Like, it's almost like I restrict myself from really letting it feel so good in my body. So there's a song that came through. It's called Slowly by Creature and Kayla Diana. I'm going to play just a few seconds of it for you. And here's literally what I did. I took a shower, and during this song, I would wash my hair. Like, I would spend the first minute just shampooing my hair as slow as possible. And don't even give yourself a time limit. Like, can you move so incredibly slowly while you're showering, while you're bathing yourself, while you're giving yourself a head massage with the conditioner, while you're washing your face? Like, how quickly do you just wash your face and you rinse it off? But like, can you actually slow down and feel what it's like to be with yourself, to create intimacy with yourself, to create presence? Because the slowing down is what creates the presence that actually allows you to connect, so that when you do see that sister who's like doing the damn thing, you can notice that you're a vibrational match, be in celebration, be excited that that vibration, right? Like, that is coming for you in a way that feels good for you. And you already know what your desire is. You already know what that authentic connection is in alignment. You already know that next thing that you're calling in, because you've allowed yourself the spaciousness to really tune in. And you get to change your mind anytime you want. So I'm going to play it for you. And again, like, I'm going to see, let me see if there's any, I don't know. I should probably go get my phone. Okay. A couple of people are watching. Let me know how this is landing. I'm going to play this song for you. And I want you to, if you're in a position where perhaps you're a new mom, or you're a stay-at-home mom, you have multiple kids at home, like, can you ask for support? Can you give yourself some form of, when I'm in the shower, can I connect to breath? Can I connect to this music? And can I just give myself this amazing experience and slow down? And we start to notice. And it's hard. Like, it's hard to not want to just like move on to the next thing, right? Because that's how we're conditioned. Like, take a shower, do this, brush teeth, breakfast, dinner, serve, phone calls, right? Like, we're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do 5 things while I'm driving. I'm gonna like respond to voice messages, and I'm gonna run errands, and I'm gonna make my phone calls. And we're in this state of like, not enoughness, move fast, check things off the to-do list. And that is detaching us further and further and further and further and further from our truth. And that's creating more resistance and repelling us from receiving. And so this is the channel downloads that I've been receiving on and off for the last few weeks, that it's really funny when I'm getting guidance now. It's like, this is the theme, like funnel it, experience it, and then like share it with the world. And so this was the theme around celebration, and how we get to actually use that to amplify what we want to create in the world and cause and co-create in the world, and how then somebody else gets to amplify that. And then you get to come back, and that is how expansion happens. So here's the song. It's such a fun song. I'll put it in the chat here. And just, I'm going to pretend to shower because why the heck not? And show you what it could look like. Some of you are watching. If you're watching, put in the chat that you can hear, right?
Give it to me slowly. I wanna take this inside. I ain't going nowhere. I wanna take my time. Give it to me slowly. I wanna take this inside. I ain't going nowhere. I wanna take my time. Take my time. Take my time. Take my time. I wanna take my time. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I wanna take my time. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I wanna take my time.
Okay, so you get the point, right? Like, how slow can you suds everything? And actually, one of the downloads that came through that I forgot to share, and I'll close with this, is right where the vagus nerve, right? Like, so we have all these cranial nerves that send information from the brain down into the body, but the vagus nerve is actually like right here where it connects to the cortex and the brainstem. And it's funny because I've been having a lot of sensation and like tightness and almost pain. It's finally dissipating, but it was right here where the vagus nerve sends information from the body to the brain. This is right where it connects to the brain system. And so I noticed when I started really allowing my head to stretch and just every nook and cranny and taking my time, and in the shower and just like the steam and listening to the music, it was such this amplified feeling of like release around the programming that the mind is king, and allowing myself to really feel into like the stuckness that gets to be released here. And through the head movements, like through just even like a facial, imagine giving yourself the most amazing facial and like feeling your jaw and just going really, really slow. And I notice there's always opportunities to go even slower, right? So just try it on. In a nutshell, create the slowing down so you can connect to self and actually tune into what you want, not what you're seeing on social media, not what you're seeing in the ads, not when you're seeing from your coaches or your mentors or your bosses, really tuning into what you desire and why. And then when you see somebody else that's in that frequency, now you know how to thank those parts of yourself that go into jealousy mode, then get into celebration mode and start to notice the expansion that happens, right? Like really, truly being in a state of gratitude for that sister who is showing you that you're a vibrational match for what's next for you, and letting that just continue to expand and expand and expand. Would love to know how this is landing. I'm going to go do a workout outside. I've been resisting it all day myself because, you know, the weather across the US is pretty cold and I'm loving bundling up, but I'm feeling like I get to move my body and do some stretching. So love you all. Thanks for watching, and we'll connect soon. Mwah.